I want you to think of the 5 closest friends you had at 25. Go ahead. Picture their faces. Now tell me, how many of them do you still actually talk to? Not follow on Instagram, not see at a wedding every 3 years. Actually talk to. For most men over 40, the answer is 1, maybe 2. And for a lot of us, if we're being honest, it's 0. I'm 57, and about 4 years ago I was sitting in my apartment, newly divorced, just left the company I'd spent 22 years building, and I realized I had nobody to call. Not because people didn't like me. I was well liked. I was successful. People respected me. But I had no one to call. And that's when I started asking myself the question nobody wants to ask. How did this happen? Here's what I figured out. When you're young, friendships are almost accidental. You're thrown together. Same school, same neighborhood, same starting job. You don't choose your friends. Life just puts them there. And because you have time and no real responsibilities, you show up. You hang out for no reason. You waste time together. And that wasted time, that is the friendship. Then your 30s hit. Suddenly there's a mortgage, a promotion you're chasing, a relationship that needs work, kids maybe. And friendships stop being accidental. They start requiring effort. And effort is the one thing men are already giving everything else. So slowly, without any conversation, without any fight, friendships just start to compress. Monthly becomes every few months. Every few months becomes once a year. Once a year becomes, we should really catch up sometime. And sometime never comes. But here's the part that took me longest to admit. It wasn't just busyness. It was something else. Something we don't talk about. Men, and I'm speaking from experience here, men are taught, from the time they're very young, that needing people is a weakness. You handle things yourself. You don't complain. You push through. And so when life gets hard, when the marriage starts struggling, when the job is suffocating you, when you lie awake at 3 a.m. and don't know why, you don't reach out. Because reaching out means admitting you're not okay. And we spend our whole lives trying to convince everyone, including ourselves, that we're okay. So the friendships that survived your 30s, they start to hollow out in your 40s. You see each other, you have a beer, you talk about football, about work, about nothing. And nobody says what's actually going on, because nobody wants to go first. I had a friend, Michael. We'd known each other since we were 19. Good man. We played football together, went on holidays in our 20s. By our mid-40s, we were having dinner maybe twice a year, talking about business, talking about our kids. And I never once asked him if he was happy. And he never asked me. He had a heart attack at 49. Survived, he's fine now. But I remember sitting in that hospital and thinking, I have known this man for 30 years, and I have no idea what his life actually feels like from the inside. That was the moment I understood what I'd been doing wrong. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Real friendship requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires practice. Most men have never practiced it. Not once. Not with anyone. We were never taught how. So when we get to 40, 50, when life actually gets heavy, we have no muscle for it. And so we do what we always do. We handle it alone. And we get lonelier. And we tell ourselves that's just how it is when you get older. But it's not how it has to be. There is probably someone in your life right now. An old friend, a colleague, a brother maybe. Someone you've been meaning to call. You haven't called because you don't know what to say. Because it's been too long. Because it might be awkward. Call them anyway. Don't send a text. Call. And when they ask how you are, don't say fine. Say something true. That's it. That's the whole secret. Go first, because somebody has to. And most men are waiting for the other person to do it, which means nobody does. And that's why we end up alone. I called Michael after he got out of the hospital, asked him how he was really doing. We talked for 2 hours. First real conversation we'd had in probably 15 years. He cried. I almost did. It wasn't awkward. It was the most like myself I'd felt in years.